So there was a little kerfuffle between Jaden McDaniels and Klay Thompson. And at one point, because of that, Rudy Gobert came through and kind of had his arms around Klay Thompson's neck, not necessarily a chokehold, but around his neck for a moment. Draymond Green pounced on the opportunity and put Rudy Gobert in a real deal chokehold straight out of the WWE, straight out of the WWF. Lex Luger would be proud. And then Karl Anthony Towns tried to double up on it, but Draymond Green, savvy as he is, you know what you do? Put your chin in your chest, baby. No way you could chokehold him with your chin in your chest. Veteran move there by Draymond. I'm sure we haven't gotten the news yet, Danny, but I'm sure Draymond's going to have some type of suspension for how long he was applying the chokehold. Give me your reaction to all of the madness that took place in Golden State on Tuesday night.
Well, there was more than just madness in Golden State, but I thought it was hilarious. Just like everybody else, the reaction was the same. I was wondering what the first scuffle started with, and then it just finished with Draymond choking out Rudy, which had nothing to do with the start of the scuffle. Klay and McDaniels got ejected because they thought it was, enough. They kind of escalated a situation that neither one of them kind of de-escalated, which I agree. If you're holding the standard, everybody, because I've seen people get kicked out for less. If these guys are tussling and grabbing jerseys and ripping jerseys, then yes, they should be tossed. I thought it wasn't a lot. I do like the passion into the game. I wish we'd go back to the games back in the day where they allowed more, because now they're calling technicals for guys dunking the ball and taunting a little bit because they don't want to escalate situations. So I'd rather see more of it than less of it. But if they keeping that standard, then yes, you have to let guys, I guess you have to toss guys for certain situations and let it be known you're making an example of guys that are doing overboard stuff. And so Draymond, I think, was very much overboard, to say the least. And he's going to get a suspension. Now, I don't know how many games. There's some people talking 10. I don't think that
10 is excessive.
10
is excessive.
Very excessive. I think, 3 is fair, maybe 5 at the most. So, yeah, we'll see. But, yeah, it was funny. It was funny to see. And, the way Draymond pounced on the opportunity, it seemed like he had a history with Rudy.
He was ready. He wanted it
solved. He needed some closure for whatever happened in the past.
I will say this about the altercation last night, and I know we're not supposed to promote violence, but as an NBA viewer and as somebody who wants to be entertained, damn, Tuesday night was entertaining. All of the beefs, all of the on-court animosity, that is what we want. And I don't know if it was the in-season tournament or not, Danny, but something was different. Something was in the air last night.
Full moon,
Here's a list. Here's a list of players or coaches got into little interactions last night. Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, Draymond Green, Desmond Bane, Jaden McDaniels, Santi Aldama, Taylor Jenkins. Hey, all of them were involved in some type of animosity last night. That's what I signed up for.
Sure.
That's what I want.
I love the angle you're going with. That list is probably half the people because it's really Santi and AD scuffle now. Jenkins,
Desmond brought some intensity to it.
But it wasn't real. D'Angelo pushed out the way, de-escalated.
That's all you need.
The real smoke is between him. The real smoke was Jaden and Klay, and then Draymond and Rudy. But outside of the other guys, are small instances. But yes, I do love the fact that the passion in the game was high, the intensity of the game, emotions were high. And I think if you want to get that back, I guess the best way to promote it is people will watch this more if we had more of a hockey style type of league. And not saying we need to let fights go, but we should not kick guys out for one small altercation or scuffle. I think you let those guys play out. Now you're getting a more intense game. Now people want to see what's the reaction on
yes.
Who's going to hold their head, who's going to be mental. Let me see Klay. Let me watch Jaden. See how he reacts. You know what I'm saying? Let me see Rudy and Draymond too much. He had to get out. We'll see how these guys react now, how tough they're going to play each other. Who's going to talk trash? Who's going to back down? Who's going to fold? So I think that type of intensity, that type of emotion, I miss watching the game. Because back in the day, they used to never get kicked out. They used to have fist fights, clothesline guys, have hard fouls, and still be in the game. And then that would make the game even more intense. And the viewers want to watch it even more because we want to see what happens next. So yeah, I think we need to go more in that direction and kind of pitch that to Adam and let him know, look, man, stop kicking guys out. Keep them in the game.
Yeah.
You can put
Ain't
a penalty
nothing wrong.
box. You make a little penalty box, maybe. You got to sit out for 5 minutes. But I need to
Cool
see
off.
what's
Yeah.
going on
Maybe
next with these
maybe
guys on the court.
mandatory. You got to go to the bench after altercation, but you don't necessarily got to get kicked out the game.
A 2 minute, penalty box or something. You're saying you got to be subbed out 2 minutes, but now we need them back on the floor because I need to see how they handle it and how they get back. So,
yeah. No, that's hey, listen. I just saw a clip the other day. LeBron, it was an old clip. It was the Lakers versus the Grizzlies, and Desmond Bain was talking trash, and LeBron was talking about how he was fed up with it. And then, like, plays later, he came back and dunked it on Jaren Jackson. I'm like, that's why we want dudes in the game.
That's what we want to see.
That's what we want to see. There's no
now,
fights. No real fights is gonna happen, Adam. No, let's let them play.
Half the guys in our league aren't fighters. More than half aren't fighters. But I guess you could just find them and keep it moving if you want to keep the small fines so that you can kind of not promote it as much. But I think it's great for the league. I think it's for entertainment. I think it's great for TV. So, and I want to see more competitiveness because we have today now too many guys being buddy, friendly, which is not an issue. But I know a lot of fans are not happy with it. They're not as fond of it. They don't like the buddy, but especially the old school players. And said some of the old school guys, they knew each other and were friends, but on the court, they were trying to take each other's head off. That's the competitive nature of what was back in the day. And I miss that part of the game, and I would love to see it come back full circle.
Yeah, I got a player I want to talk about too that looked a little bit too buddy for me Tuesday night. But let's continue this. Continue with this topic. Okay. So Draymond Green, puts Rudy Gobert in the chokehold. I'm sure if you're on the Timberwolves, you hate Draymond Green right now. If you're on the Warriors, especially if Green doesn't get suspended too many games, you're like, hey, that's my road dog right there. It leads me. Yeah, maybe not all that. Okay, but anyways.
He's on a fine line right now.
He's on a fine line.
On both sides, I think on both sides, obviously the Warriors respect him and they appreciate what he brings and does for them night in, night out. He is at that thin boundary line right now where, before it was he was bringing more good than bad, and you live with the BS and the fines and the technicals because of what he brought to the floor. Now it's so early in the season. He's getting a little older now. He hasn't been able to play enough games to be able to see or show the results of his positives yet. So he's got to be careful, man, to where hopefully he's already starting off the year, coming back from injury with getting kicked out. I want to say back. Multiple
games now.
And you don't want your teammates to be, they're the ones that have your back more than anybody besides the fans and the media. So you don't want them to start, this guy Draymond, man, every time we turn, you don't want them getting fed up. So he's on a fine line, man, where he needs to kind of be careful.